change up their draft slightly, I hope anyway.
I think the OD ban is very appropriate. Baby Knight's been
warranted, yeah.
Yeah, he's been kind of doing quite well on it, and it's just it's super hard to play. It's just like, you know, you laning versus that hero is just super annoying, and he just scales super hard. So it's just, yeah, why not get rid of it?
I'm surprised to see well, Escape ban out the Shadow Demon themselves, and Batrider still in the pool. Now I am not so sure with Trixie, as we pointed out during the pre-show. Trixie and Batrider. Does he play a lot?
I'm not too sure. I don't actually know. If
I'm not
Trixie's
too sure either.
A big bet player. I don't know.
Because if Escape doesn't pick it up, we're going to see a Hester Joe Batrider. And personally, I would love to see that, don't get me wrong. But I don't think that Escape Gaming would love to see that.
I mean, if they have something in mind against the Batrider, you can, I mean, it's not like you can't play against the Batrider. It's just, you need to be prepared. Yeah, okay, they're just gonna take it themselves. But I mean, any hero is counterable. Like Dota is just like a giant game of rock paper scissors, sort of. It's like everything has a counter, and you know, all of these things that you do, you see a pick, then you start thinking, okay, why is it there, and you know, how are we gonna counter this? Is there something behind more to this pick? Do they want us to try to counter this? Like this, it's just if you come prepared with a good strategy, you can usually deal with most things.
So dealing with a Batrider.
In general, SD is already banned, but that's one of the heroes. When you get lassoed, you kind of put one hero under. Oracle, another good hero, you just instantly false promise, and the lasso is gone.
Oh my!
Legion is also another good counter.
They go for the double.
So you can remove the lasso with the second skill of Legion Commander.
You can also remove the arrow from Mirana. Do you feel like Mirana pickup is a little bit odd here, considering all the counters already?
It's still just a super strong hero that's been favored very highly, and especially on Quakefa, he's had very good performances at DreamLeague.
But they also play it on Yapsor, though, don't they?
Yes, they do also play it on Yapsor.
They play it on this Yapsor, and he goes for this bottom, and then eventually they get the ult from bottom, which is just like having a smoke every time it's up, sort of.
Yes.
An even better smoke, one might argue. And he kind of scales as this 4-position bottom who eventually, like towards the 20-30 minute mark, you can kind of make space. You go down lanes and just push them down with your double starfall. And then if they want to stop you, well, then they have to invest a lot to stop this bottom. And you know, it's a hero he's also very comfortable with.
Yeah, for sure. It's just a safe draft already coming out from Escape.
Yeah, now they ban out the IO with Imperial banning out the Invoker. Now we're going to assume that it is Hester Joe playing the Legion Commander. We actually have seen Ace play Legion Commander safe lane before as well.
Yes, we did.
So which one do you favor in this case? The safe lane Legion. I remember, Pikecat, last season, you were all about that Legion Commander. It's going to be the next big thing, you said.
I wanted to be. It didn't happen that much.
It did not happen.
No, not really. I think it was a decent hero. The thing is, I don't know, Legion has never really had like a time to shine, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, the thing is, there are so many nice sets for that hero. And the hero, the concept is cool. It's just that he kind of lacks a purpose. He's not, you know, he's not that good at anything, you know? He's like this, can do a little bit of everything, you know? He can kind of push, he can heal a bit, he can farm, but he doesn't excel at really anything. So that's why he's kind of a, you know?
Do you think it's... The one thing I was looking at is like his skill sets are great, but I think his third skill is actually the thing that brings him down.
Oh, you think so? I think it's the ult.
You think it's the... Okay, well...
Yeah, I think the duel is... I think it's... people tend to focus too much on winning duels. So they forego, like... I think you can use the hero, like, you can duel a guy without expecting to win the duel, like, just as a setup stun, you know, more. Because people tend to focus too much on actually winning the duels. And then you kind of miss out on a lot of kills just because, like, you don't want to use the duel. You know, think of it like a beast master or something. Like, you just roar this guy, but you just duel him. And then your backup comes later. But that's kind of the issue, I feel like, with the hero, because...
You lock yourself into a place, too.
Yeah, I think you think about it too much, you know. Like, this damage, it rarely ever comes into play, like... Until you get like 200 plus damage, it's not gonna be that relevant.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess it's like, it's hard. Like, he looks, in theory, you look and you're just like, this hero sounds awesome,
cool.
but... Yeah.
Well, it is gonna be a core Legion Commander in this case. It's yet to be seen if it's going to be a safe lane one or an off lane one, so Hester Joe or Ace. We do see Escape Gaming's Warlock, and it's been mostly Synderen playing that one.
Yeah, because they don't play the core lock, do they?
Not that much, no. I don't think I have ever seen Quakefa play Warlock.
Imperial is the one who plays the core lock, but yeah, Escape is just Synderen more so than not.
5 seconds
Well, they could choose to change it up if they really want to. There's always a possibility for that twist in the draft. Okay, so Imperial with the Bounty Hunter picked up, with the Legion Commander picked up. What does that tell us? I mean, they're looking kind of sneaky duel-y type, like pick-off rather than team fight. And normally Imperial is all about the team fight. And I would say that Escape Gaming right now is looking pretty good in terms of team fight.
Yeah, I mean, there's what's Imperial's score now? They need to win both these games and one game against Vega,
they need to win one more game and then
they're in.
Yes.
Okay, so
this is their last game, or well, no, this is not their last game because they're gonna play against Vega as well. And even if they're already through, and therefore even if Vega can't make it through, they will still play for prize money.
Yeah, absolutely.
As well.
I feel like Imperial are they're setting up for either a sniper or an SF. I think here they have a lot of save for either the sniper or the Shadow Fiend, and they have the amplified damage. They also have this Legion Commander who can kind of help out. So there's some like counter disables. They have some counter initiation. They have some initiation and a lot of physical damage with the Slardar. They can go for Roche, obviously. So I think one of those heroes is something that Imperial want to look towards right now.
Is there any one of those two that you find more scary than the other? Like if you're Escape Gaming, which of the two would you ban?
I think it depends on what mid hero they go for. So I think Imperial, they kind of want Escape to reveal their mid hero.
Yes.
Imperial's draft looks very strange to me right now, though. Like, they don't only have, they have like no real team fight. They have like, yeah, just a bunch of tracks and stuff being thrown out. They have some good chase potential with like low cooldowns, but nothing that's really like standing out. Now Escape with this Sven pickup, I think it's actually very good into the Slardar and the Legion Commander especially. And it just looks like a more well-rounded lineup in general. Just it gives them like now this building hitter, this tanky frontliner, which like works well with the Fatal Bonds as well and everything. Like
the one thing I think that Imperial are happy they have the last pick now in this round, so I think that's gonna be a good thing for them because otherwise it would be tricky. But they actually have the last pick, so they get to see the enemy's mid hero, if it's gonna be a bottom mid or if it's gonna be a bottom support.
Yeah.
And then they can kind of from there think what they want to do.
They did the same thing last time. They really just don't want to play versus a Tinker. They don't want to play against Koiko's Tinker at all. So that's 2 games in a row they banned it out.
Yeah, they don't really have anything to catch the Tinker that easily with. If you're in the trees, it's kind of hard to find the Tinker with Slaughter and Bounty Hunter.
Yeah, you want to be able to blink on them, and then with the Marginal Machines, you won't be able to do that. And that's the only reason you kind of can get up in his face with this lineup. So Escape Gaming, they're going to ban out also a mid-hero, Baby Knight hero. We have seen him play Shadow Fiend. We have seen him play Sniper.
The Broodmother too they've picked before, but it's that's one of those things that they do like.
They do actually, and we have seen it banned a lot against them. But would you play Broodmother against this lineup? Because I feel like Batrider and Sven are kind of decent against it.
They're very good at catching.
Pretty scary to play against those heroes. I think they do it in general. From what I know, there are a few players in pub games who like picking Broodmothers against Invokers because the laning is just so bad for Invoker against the Brood that you kind of just flat out lose the game if you don't get a lot of help early on.
Well, they're taking their time, removing one of the two. Well, if it is even that. For Escape Gaming, what will we look for them to pick up? What do you want Koikfa to play?
I think that
they have first pick. They can counter.
Yeah, they're
the mid.
They're probably just deciding which one they want to make the core. I mean, I think it's probably the Mirana core more than likely, but it's still like up in the air for sure.
Well, it also depends on how much pressure they think is going to be applied to the safe lanes, how much roaming YapzOr can actually do.
Yeah.
And if you already know that there's going to be a Bounty Hunter who will apply pressure on multiple lanes, maybe a Mirana core is good to get some attention elsewhere to make sure that you are also pressuring multiple lanes with only one support on the safe lane in case of Imperial. They'll both have a roaming.
They banned the Alchemist. Okay.
Support. Okay, well. Time to reveal Escape Gaming. Is Warlock enough? Like, if you're going to have a Sven Warlock lane, is that a very safe lane to have?
It's a pretty strong lane.
Oh.
So it's a mid Batrider, I am going to assume.
Yes.
And then they're going to run the offlane Clockwork. So it is going to be a support bottom. And then you can kind of, in the offlane, you can run the Clockwork with the bottom. You can set up with cogs and arrows.
You don't think it's a YapzOr Clockwork?
Oh, that could be the case too.
Right?
That's also a possibility. Yeah, that's definitely a possibility.
And I think I want to say that I actually no. I'm not gonna like claim that he did it versus Bounty Hunter, but I know that I've seen him. I've seen them do the Warlock Clockwork duo once or twice before, so that could be.
I could see that happen as well. It's not out of the question. I mean, the same concept goes with the cogs. It's just it's a harder setup because Clock has to walk in, sort of. But yeah, they're definitely a possibility.
Well, Imperial, now that they know that it's going to be most likely a Mirana mid, I mean, there's still a chance they can swap, but most likely Mirana mid.
Yeah. I would say the SF is better now in this case. Yeah, I think so. Kind of just tank up, and then eventually you get like some pike and stuff, but you don't actually have to care that much. If you're pre-farmed, then you don't have to be that worried.
Because why do you feel like Sniper is not that good of a fit anymore?
Because he dies a bit too fast to like a casual arrow or some clockwork or
oh wow,
Duza, yeah, and this is even better pick, I think.
Yeah, this is
not a very squishy hero, and Escape don't really have that much to deal with the Duza. They don't have no mana burn and also strong laner, and now they don't actually have to care that much about. You can tank a rock, you know. You can tank that, and you can tank the clockwork and whatever, and you'll still be fine.
Saw EG yesterday run Medusa a lot versus the Sven.
3 games in a row, yeah.
3 games in a row, so.
So who do you think is going to win?
Oof, I personally like Escape's lineup a bit more, yeah.
Oh, I'm Imperial, definitely.
All the way. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Nice.
I'm going for Imperial as well, and with that, hopefully for them, they'll also secure their spot at DreamHack Winter for the LAN finals. But let's find out from our commentators what they think about this second game. Imperial is going to take on Escape Gaming, and it is ODPixel and Gods that will take you through it.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second game of the first series. It is of course Imperial once up against Escape Gaming, and this game, according to Nox, I've just seen the stats man himself of course saying, if Imperial win this, they're at the LAN. So
and that knocks Vega out regardless.
I'm pretty sure, yeah, because Liquid are guaranteed. So I think this game is essentially Imperial's first chance of getting it. But of course, if they don't win this one, if they take a game in the series later, they can still do it then. But this one will guarantee it.
Yeah, they'll go up to 9 wins, and Vega, they only had 6 wins. They can only get to 8, so that makes sense. Yeah.
So, but yeah, they just need to win this one, Imperial. So we'll certainly see if that's going to be the case. And the question is, do they have the draft to do it? It's, again, very much a little bit of a different move for them compared to last game. You know, different heroes left, right, and center. Escape Gaming as well, switching it up. So, yes, what's the plan here, Gods? Are you liking what Imperial have done?
It's a bit different.
And yeah, we do apologize for the names.
Need group page.
We will. I probably will go with some of these names because I'll get confused.
Lady Gaga.
I do like the Sven's one. It's like fight me. It's literally a little fight me guy. That's nice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh. XXF. Kalu.
8D.
Need green page. What is green page?
Of the 10 nicknames, that's the one I'm most interested about. What is Need Green Page? That's Hester Joe Rodden. Maybe that's what translates his name from Danish to English.
Need green page?
Hester Joe Rodden means need green page.
It's not rude, is it? I'm a need green page?
I'm not hearing it if it is.
I'll
play oblivious.
It's just so random. It's like, what does it mean?
Some of the guys, of course, with the actual nicks.
Yes, Yapsaw, he's a sensible man.
Had Baby Knight on his old school.
Who's down 379? That would be
the Baby Knight. That's the bounty of Escape is.
Yeah, it's Noia.
Oh, sorry, not Escape. That's Imperial. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, here we have it. Imperial versus Escape Gaming. Imperial. They win this game. They're going to LAN. Let's see if they're able to do it against Escape's lineup. Lane-wise. Obviously, we were talking earlier, well, they're talking on the panel where the clock is going to be, and it is going to be this roaming clock, the Yapsaw clock, and on the off lane will be Trixie Batrider. To the mid, you are going to have the Mirana. So, Trixie on the clock, it was a tough game from last game, he didn't really get a lot done, but Yapsaw back on this hero, we've seen before, he can do a lot on the clock work.
Yeah, he's very disruptive with some of his early movements, and he seems to really like playing against that roaming bounty hunter. If you ever catch the bounty with an early battery plus cogs, you can actually close to solo kill him, but it's going to be a matter of prioritizing securing your safe lane and also dealing with the bounty hunter on the enemy team. For now, Bounty pressuring the mid as much as possible, just looking to get Baby Knight the good early start, but Clockwork has other ideas, and that's helping out the off lane as far as pressuring Ace, who is taking a bit of harass here. Had 7 charges, which Oracle Rise will just purge off of him.
One of the strengths of having the Oracle in this lane matchup. But Yap's obviously hanging around, certainly wanting to put the pressure onto Ace. And we'll see if indeed he's able to slow down the farm.
Doing this before they get the Magic 6, this would not be value napalm usage for the Bat Rider if the Legion and Oracle had Magic Sticks, but... Oh, no, he does have Magic. I'm surprised he's doing it then.
Ace just be given free charges. He's up to 10.
He's just spamming napalm away. He's used up half his mana pool on it, which is peculiar. Baby Knight stopping a Noxious Mate. There we go. Yeah, it's a very odd way of Bat to lane. It looks like just spamming that napalm with no... He's not right-clicking, he's not really threatening to Firefly. There is a danger of a Flame Break coming in when you've got a lot of napalms on you with the increased duration on Flame Break early on, and you can push him into like a Cogs or a Battery Assault, but a bit unusual. By the way, Legion should be more than okay in the safe lane. I say that Bat's also getting some good CS, and the napalm spam does help the Bat CS is the main thing, where using it as aggressively as he was.
Mid lane at the moment.
So, decent chunk of harass coming in. Did have the arrow Starstorm, but didn't want to go for it.
Top lane, we're seeing obviously good farm for Era, but at the same time Slaughter is getting in there, getting a few CS. Neuer roaming around the map on the Bounty Hunter. Maybe see him turn toward the mid lane up top. Era going to make a bit of a go onto Hester Joe. Just throws down the stunt. Forces him back. He's got a south though, so he'll be back to tip-top shape on this off-lane Slaughter. In the first 3 minutes, no one yet to fall. No rotations to really catch anything out big. Neuer in the mid lane is looking for the Courier though. But I think, yeah, they're playing it safe here. They're aware. Bounty off the map. Escape Gaming keeping that Courier safe.
Neuer at some point just has to stop chasing around looking for it. He's going to go back to helping out the mid lane. He sees the bottles being delivered and he'll be coming back in. But yeah, top lane is Hester Joe on Slaughter getting a decent amount. He's level 4 already with boots off of Venom. This is not just experience, but even farm. 13 CS to the Sven's 20 is pretty dandy. And that's something where he can make some early rotations towards mid. He could even ask for a rotation towards top if he thinks he could find a kill on someone like the Warlock.
Mid lane. Bounty's going to go down. Getting caught out there. I mean, Neuer, he's been struggling really to find much going on with these rotations. You know, we saw him up towards top, then he came towards the mid lane, didn't find the Courier, and then ends up feeding away a kill to Coifer. So Baby Knight is going to have to deal with the Mirana having a bit of a leg up because CS-wise, it pretty much was neck on neck. Baby Knight getting himself a little bit further ahead because Mirana has to walk back to base, but still getting the first blood, getting that gold. Coifer's going to be happy.
Definitely not ideal. Your Medusa there, you're like, look, dude, you're already taking some of my XP. You're expecting results from that Bounty Hunter. You're not expecting him to give your opposing mid laner a first blood like that. But sometimes those mistakes happen, and it's not going to be crippling by any means. It doesn't hurt the Medusa so much as just helps the Mirana of Coifer. So we'll see Coifer get a little boost to his economy. But Bounty, I think, realizing there's not a whole lot he can do in the mid lane. He's going to head up top and possibly try and find an opening here with the Sven's help, or onto the Sven with the Slaughter's help.
No, they're going to try and turn, in fact. Storm Armor onto Slaughter. They'll drop the Shadow Word aggressively as well, forcing him back. Bottom lane, they're going to get the kill here as they come in onto the Oracle. Escape Gaming to find themselves the second across the map. Already, this game, they're going to start a lot better for them as opposed to game one. Farm for cause as well, still even between the sides. But Escape Gaming just managing to catch out with the supports of Imperial, both in the mid lane and the bottom lane.
Yeah, nicely played. The bottom dual lane from Clock and Bat paying off in the end, and something where Imperial do need to be careful. Yap's just looking for another rotation in from the side there, but it doesn't look like he'll be able to find it immediately. Ace has a lot of stick charges, has got the press the attack to help sustain him as well.
I guess the thing is with obviously the Warlock up top having to stay there to help out the Sven. Yap's still sitting down bottom. It is giving that lane space for Baby Knight in the mid lane to continue to farm. I guess it's one of those heroes that you don't really want to put too much towards ganking because it's a hard hero to bring down with the shield. But it does mean that Baby Knight is getting good farm in that mid lane.
Oh, nice rotation from Slaughter. Saves the day with that TP in. And it's one of those games where...
They've got a jewel. They can find more here.
Yep.
And with the crush, they'll get the win as well.
3 points in this passive.
Oh, nice arrow on the mid lane. Is it going to be enough damage with the Starstorm? It's going to be close. Oh, they don't have vision, and now with he was thinking about it, Neuer. It was like, can I afford to touch this Mirana? The crush came through, and NGP is going to chase it. Oh, but he can't quite finish it, and Koifer's fine.
Yeah.
Bottom lane, Ace in trouble. Kalu and Yapzor surrounding him, and they will punish the Legion. So as quickly as they were obviously giving kills to the Legion lane down on the bottom, they've again managed to get themselves back on top and pick the kill up. Mid lane, Koifer's got to be careful. You've got 3 heroes looking at him at the moment.
Yeah, and he with the leap zone cooldown, he didn't want to go in for that, so he just arrows the siege creep, gets the gold out of it, and will play passively until he gets that leap back up. But as it stands, it's a overall slightly escape-favored start. They're getting a bit more on the carries. The offlane, to me, is working out better. And the Bat's getting a bit more in terms of farm. The Slater made a really nice rotation, but immediately Bat comes back. The Bat Clockwork have found additional kills and have managed to maintain some ability to pressure the lane and secure more farm for themselves. So you can see on the net worth, it's kind of reflected that Escape are doing that tiny bit better than what Imperial are. If Sven can get that fast home in the Dominator, or at least get some Ancient Sacks going, he's going to really pull ahead.
Down bottom lane. Good warding here, Imperial, and looking to maybe set up to allow Ace to get another duel win. Mid lane, Baby Knight, he's looking to solo kill. Koifer, he's got the leap though. So Koifer will just get himself away at the last moment, but Baby Knight forcing the Mirana out of the lane. Which he does need to do because Koifer's still having the lead. Down towards bottom, Ace. He's going to look to just get a bit of harassing onto the Bat. Doesn't want to commit the duel.
There. He managed to get down to the river, which perhaps prevented the duel coming out.
Yeah.
With the Oracle nearby, that could have been a kill. Oracle has some good single target burst damage.
On top. So I'm trying to play around with this. You've got Era going in for the tower. TP from Ace will come through. He does have the Shadow Word heal, but that may not be enough here, as Ace will just hold on with the duel, coming at the end when he knows he's guaranteed with the victory. And Ace, I mean, before 9 minutes, winning 2 duels on the Legion, he is going to be more than okay with that.
Yeah. It's definitely the kind of start you want in your safe lane. Yeah. Legion, he's getting a decent timing on what we imagine will be a fast Blink Dagger for himself, and finding all the kills he needs. Despite the single death on himself, it hasn't really slowed him down at all. If anything, that kill there on the Sven, it makes him even farm with the Sven, which is
nice hook from Yap onto the Oracle. There will be TPs coming through. Let's see if they are able to punish Yap and Trixie's play. You've got Hestecho chasing down the clock at the moment. Cogs from Yap holding back. He may just turn his attention towards the Bat Rider, but he can't quite get the speed to chase down Trixie, so he will live. Escape Gaming getting away with diving the tier 1, getting the kill onto.
God, he's slow. That's a high level napalm by the looks of things. Legion Commander, oh, another dual kill. Oh no, he used dual, but he didn't get the
bonus damage.
Yeah.
He just got the solo kill.
Yeah.
That's still good news for Ace. I mean, we're seeing him at the top of the net worth board at the moment. Mid lane, eyes onto Koifer. Hestecho ready for the chase down. He does have a leap. He will dodge the crush. Hestecho maybe being a little ambitious there.
Yeah.
But he tries for it nonetheless. Won't be successful.
Yep. Bounty trying to find a level 6 in mid isn't going to quite get there with this wave. Probably buys the tomb and gets his level 6 from there, and he's close to the Arcane Boots. Arcane Boots level 6 is really what you're looking for on Bounty around the 10 to 11 minute mark. If you haven't got it through the lanes, you normally get it through the Tomb of XP. And if Tomb of XP doesn't get you level 6, you've done something wrong in your early game. Oracle will buy it, but I've got to imagine he's going to pull it over to the Bounty.
We're going to see Escape Gaming try for a play here. They have the Moonlight Shadow, Hook Shot, and also the Chaotic Offering from the Warlock coming down to the bottom lane as well. Yeah, Absol leading him with a hook onto Slardar. He'll crush to hold back the clock, but the arrow comes through. Koifer will jump in, and they'll take down Hestecho.
Yep.
Nice, with that, they'll back out. Yeah, no casualties here for Escape Gaming.
Yeah, slowing down what would be already not the best timing on this Slardar Blink Dagger. He's not got much farm to his name. Managed to have a decent impact in the other game through his movements, but Needs to find a lane and some room for himself to get some items. Whether he does that through ganking with his team, taking towers with his team, or just finding a lane to farm, we'll have to wait and see. But he has definitely fallen off if you compare his net worth to not just his counterpart in the back, but even the 4-position Clockwork out-farming Slider.
Ace with the first blink reveal, looking to go for something big with the smoke up from the team. They jump in onto Quakefer, and again, it's another victory for the Legion.
Yep. In comes Slider. Again, it feels like Slider maybe needs to just go off to another lane to get that blink, but he wants to make sure he's with his team for this tower in case a fight breaks out, and the fight could be coming their way. Escape have a decent number of heroes here, as well as the Warlock level 6 Golem, so potential for defense is there, but I think if anything, Imperial will be likely to just back off, fall back to their jungle and continue farming where possible.
I mean, when it comes to the farm game, I guess you look to Escape Gaming, they do have Error on the Sven, but at the same time, Imperial have Baby Knight Medusa. Is there a team that's going to feel under a bit more pressure? I mean, do you look to kind of towards Escape Gaming, looking to make stuff happen with the Chaotic Offering, whereas Imperial, with the track, with the Amplifier, as the game goes on, it's going to be harder to fight into?
There's more pressure for Imperial to make plays happen using the Bounty and Legion. It's a core Legion. Not a hero you look at. I mean, if you want to scale to late game with Legion, you need to have bonus damage, so he needs to get kills to achieve that. No level 6, but he says no problem.
Look at the hook
By
shot
no level 6, I mean,
so
he hasn't actually leveled up his lasso yet. Interesting build coming in from Batrider, and it kind of pays off in some ways. He's just got all this extra movement speed, Firefly damage. Would like to see at least the 1 point in lasso by now, but I imagine he'll get at level 9.
Well, towards the mid. Getting himself just out of sentry range there. No, yeah.
Oh, okay.
They did have the dire sentry just towards the river. Mid lane being pushed in, bottom lane being pushed in return by Escape Gaming.
Yeah,
Baby Knight still pretty much uninterrupted this game, but now, well, we may see sort of fortunes change as he comes in. False Promise will come through with the Stone Gaze. Baby Knight looking to play his way out. Yapso gets a good cog, slowing down the retreat. And in fact, with the disarm, he can't get himself out. They've got the stuns, they'll take it. Beautifully done there. And that kind of was getting, so I believe what he was trying to get out of the cogs, but his Oracle disarmed him to give him the match so he could try and heal him up. But that in turn worked against him because then he couldn't actually destroy the cogs to get out.
Yeah, perhaps the Oracle could help kill the cogs or something, but even if he killed the cogs a bit fast, I think it would have been a very tough position to get out of regardless. But yeah, you can see stunned, then he gets disarmed with the heals. Oracle knows he's on the run, but the cogs is not being hit.
They can't hit the cogs.
By the time he hits the cogs have already worn off.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, maybe, as you said, maybe if he wasn't disarmed, he may have broken the cogs, but because the heal wasn't there, he may have probably died anyway.
Yeah,
so.
I imagine it was not like a deciding play as to whether he died or not there. Nice arrow will find Legion, but not too big a deal. Legion is at that stage of the game where if you want to keep on par with Sven in terms of farm, you kind of need to fall back and farm. At the same time, that's not really what your hero is meant to do. You're meant to be leading around, smoke ganks, finding pickoffs, gank with the Slider. Slider's not really all that ready to fight, though. Needs a bit more in the way of farm, but we'll see if he can get up to that Blink Dagger. It's still only really halfway there for Hestejo.
I mean, it's hard as well, it feels, for Imperial now in terms of finding those pickoffs with the Legion, with the Slider, because Escape Gaming, they've got great ways to react to it. You know, Sven with a blink, jumping forward. With the drums on the Batrider, he's just himself getting him with a flame break, disrupting the fight. Chaotic Offering, hook shot. There's so many ways that Escape Gaming can break up Imperial trying to go for these kind of plays.
And now Escape are going to just continue to be disruptive. They're going to lead for another gank. The Clockwork Hook is ready to go. The Batrider is ready for a lasso.
He's in a lot of trouble here again. He's going to be dragged up onto the high ground. Arrow to connect. He will get a chance to... No, he won't even get a chance to heal himself up and try and play his way out. Did have 9-1 charges, but surrounded, stuck on the cliff. Again, Escape Gaming just looking a lot better here in Game 2. It just seems a better all-round drafting game plan that they're executing really nicely. They're giving space for Error. He's also pushing the lanes out constantly. He's flying high at the top of the net worth. And he's working nearly towards that Echo Saber as well on top of the blink. So this Sven, a huge threat. And at a point of the game, as you said, where Hestejo on this Slider, we've seen him have some star performances. He's not quite got the blink dagger. Maybe we'll see kind of fortunes change for him there, but he struggled to really find his place in the most recent 5 minutes of this game.
Yeah, he's kind of been forced into this farming role. Like, his Legion's probably telling him, all right, let's go fight. I've got this blink, I've got lots of dual damage, I want more. But at the same time, Slider's kind of trying to contradict that. Like, I'm not ready to fight. When you've got your two heroes, these two heroes need to be working together. Yeah. Slider and Legion, they've got good synergy. You amp up the target being dueled. They both blink in. They've both got good gap closes. But Slider, with the blink coming this late, just didn't hit the timing with the Legion commander. Sometimes you need two heroes to reach that peak at the same time. And when they're not coordinated, things just feel off with your overall strategy. Like right now, it feels like Imperial don't have much of a strategy, and it's purely because these two items are just not really coming up when they need them to. But a few nice things happened to kind of make that. Like Sven actually went for the blink before getting the Echo Saber, which is kind of unconventional, but that was what got them the Medusa kill at mid. It's forced Imperial to play more defensively, so I really like the change up from Arrow. Doing something a bit different to what you'd see most Svens do, and it really has put Imperial under a decent amount of strain.
Looks like we're going to see both sides want to fight up here on the top lane. Escape Gaming coming in for the tier 2. Slardar, as Joe has just finished off his Blink Dagger. They'll lay down the sentry, not yet, but still smoked up the side of Escape Gaming, so Imperial may not be ready for this one. YapzOr, he'll jump in immediately. He's found the Bounty Hunter. The question is what the rest of the team want to do on the side of Imperial. Looks like they're just going to bail. They're just going to leave it.
They've got not much they can do. They get the hell out of there. And we'll have a Slardar blink, so this is where I feel like they do need to be smoking up, making plays. You've got the Medusa for the late game, but Medusa won't actually farm as fast as a Sven, so you want to try and create some more space for her and apply pressure to your opponents through the Slardar Legion commander. The Oracle has some good synergy there as well, with her burst damage potential for the jeweled up targets. Bounty will give you some extra money with the track, so they need to be using this combo.
We've got eyes onto the Mirana. They'll jump in with the duel, and with that, they'll take a bit of plus damage. They may pay with their lives, though, with the rest of Escape Gaming turning up. The Golem's been dropped. Beautiful chaotic offering, catching both of them out. Ace continuing to try and run. He's got a lot of movement speed here, but they'll jump forward with the blink. A final swipe from Era finishes off the Legion commander. Hester Joe will be lucky enough to get away.
Yeah, he got out, but it's one of those things. I guess that's worth it enough for Imperial. Like, they get a 1-for-1.
They get the plus damage.
Yeah, they get the plus damage, but realistically, I don't like seeing the Legion dying in that situation. Yeah, the Mirana dying is killing off the escape mid player, but it's the Sven who's continuing to farm. He actually got the kill there on the Legion commander. Being gone on now, I don't think they've got the damage to kill him, though.
They're going to get the chance to back off. They may end up killing the Golem by the looks of it. Left behind, so nice tasty plus 100 for the side. Era's got a double damage rune though, so Imperial have to be careful about how they kind of look into this one. We saw YapzOr just try and get a hook. Doesn't manage to find the connection.
Yeah, if he can find someone like Oracle, that's really problematic for Imperial. The Bounty Hunter is also a good find, and right now Imperial's just... They struggle in these teamfights because they don't have the Force Staff, they don't have the items to really elude the Clockwork. And this isn't like a core Clockwork. I mean, he's got a farm of a core, but Clockwork as a support can take out the Oracle False Promise or force it on someone like a Bounty Hunter who you don't want to be using on. You want to be saving it for a Medusa or a Legion commander in these fights. So YapzOr able to have a very high impact on these fights as a support. And he's doing wonders.
Smoker from Imperial, wanting to utilize this Slardar Legion combo to continue to find these pickoffs, but Escape Gaming again.
They're going to go through behind the tower here.
This is a scary jump for Imperial to make. We're going to see Bounty lead the way under the cover of the Moonlight Shadow, though.
I believe Bounty saw it, so probably signals to his team like, hey, this is happening.
Got to get out. Scary territory here for Imperial. Escape Gaming definitely packing the bigger punch with this Sven at this farm at this stage of the game. 10k net worth. Era very much the dominant force in this game at the moment.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Imperial looking to fight. They just had Legion at the Ancients trying to get some more farm in, and don't think we'll see Imperial force the issue once they realize Escape are grouped as 5, ready to fight with the Clockwork and Bat, both with strong initiations. The Warlock with the team fight. His Chaotic Offering should be coming back up soon, so this is definitely a tricky stage of the game for Imperial. Anytime that rock is up, fighting is just such a tough proposition.
At the moment, Hester Joe just looking to put some pressure up on the top tier 1 on his own, but mid lane, YapzOr's looking for a hook. He's got the backup. If he finds a hook, he's almost certainly going to find a kill. It's actually going to be Trixie with the jump in. They catch out the bounty hunter, and it's a quick and easy kill for Escape Gaming, who are continuing to look very good here in this game too. It just seems like a totally different side from what we saw in game 1 against Imperial, where Imperial were all over Escape. And it really feels like it's just come down to the lineup, the draft, and the way Escape Gaming have decided to tackle Imperial.
Yeah, this has been very strong across the board from Escape. Everyone kind of stepping up their game after a lackluster game 1 from a few of their players.
Yeah.
We're seeing Yapster shine once again on this support Clockwork, and oh, they're going to smoke under a ward. Oh dear. Absolutely catastrophic, potentially.
Yeah, and you can see Trixie just getting himself in position up on the tree line, so he continues to have full vision of this movement. And there's Yapzor looking for the hook shot in on the backliners. So there's the chaotic Joffring as they look to focus down Ace, who's been caught on the front line. False Promise will come through in time. They've already lost the bounty. He's actually going to go for the duel here onto the clock, trying to get the bonus damage. He does get it, but he'll end up dying himself.
One way to win a duel.
See if they can get themselves anything more of this one. You have Trixie leading forward, and the rest of the team following closely behind him. Hester Joe comes in with a crush, trying to get the kill onto the back. They do end up taking it. It's a double kill for the Oracle, but he pays with his life, and Baby Knight, the last man left standing on the side of Imperial, is going to be chased down. He'll look to TP out. He's not going to make it with the Stormhammer from Era, and it ends up being an effective team wipe as Imperial are all knocked down to the ground. And Escape Gaming, with both Sven and the Mirana still alive, they'll look to head into the pit and finish it off Roshan. So again, another huge team fight win for the side of Escape Gaming.
Yep. Again, pretty easy stuff for them. They had all the knowledge they needed. They positioned fairly well. I don't think Batrider needed to die there as well. I think it should have been even more convincing with probably just Clockwork dying to the False Promise duel, which is a bit unfortunate. One way to win a duel is just have, Legion Commander go in 1v5, False Promise him, he duels someone. Yeah, he's not going to take damage till afterwards, so he finds at least one kill, but ultimately Escape with an Aegis in their hands now, poised to strike once again as soon as they've got that Warlock ultimate online once more.
I mean, every time we kind of see these Legion lineups, it always looks like if the side gets behind, it's just so hard for a Legion to catch up. As you said, in terms of just the way it can farm, it's just not on the same pace as something like a Sven. And we're seeing it this game falling behind, up into the top river. Again, Neuer's been caught out. We'll have the jump in and the duel, looking to find something in return, and they do get one kill. In fact, they're going to be able to get themselves a second.
It's a very scattered Escape team. Yeah, they weren't ready for that one. They had just a two-man gank squad, and Imperial swarmed on them.
Very much needed there by the side.
Yeah. That's one of the two, I believe, was track kill, and then they bring in the cores to finish things off. So nicely played, but Escape, really, they're going to be grouping up around that Warlock ultimate again. That's when they'll try and make their next big move.
What's the build for Sven? Is he's going for a Manta start this game? That is something that we don't see Sven's build every day.
No, Amp as well as Track, both can be dispelled by this, of course. It's definitely saying a bit different. Maybe see a Manta Diffusal against Medusa. That would be
Manta Diffusal, Sven, let's go.
Very unconventional. I don't think that's what he's building, but who knows?
Who knows?
We saw, I believe it was we build Manta in one of the EG games against EG recently because it was versing a Treant Protector as Sven, which made a lot of sense because you just get rooted and you BKB. He's waiting till you BKB before he roots. So when you BKB ultis, he roots and you need the Manta to get out. But I don't think Amp or Track is necessarily a big enough concern to force you into the Manta, but I guess why not? It's not a bad item. It's decent stats, attack speed, movement speed, raw stats as well, all pretty good.
Interesting stuff here from Era. And I believe that will be the completed Manta probably on its way out now in the Courier. He's got it, ultimate Orban recipe on en route at the moment to the Sven, and up top, Escape Gaming is smoked up behind Era. Looking to try and bait with the Sven push, potentially. They've got everything ready to go. Level 2 Chaotic Offering. They're ready to drop it. Let's see if Imperial bite for this kind of bait that they're forcing out Escape Gaming, and if they do try and make a jump onto the defense. At the moment, they're pushing out the other lanes. And not really looking too much to defend this tier 2. They may just let this one go by the looks of it.
Yeah, I think recognizing that Escape are pretty well set up to just siege this one with the Aegis Sven. They're going to be more focused on defending the high ground should that push come itself. I guess that's the next question for Escape is, do they force that high ground or do they just fall back and farm? And for now, it seems like they are more intent to fall back, take the outer towers rather than try and break through the racks and high ground just yet. Nice bounty on a position. Recognize the line of flight of the Courier, finds that. Small little victory for Imperial.
ASUS now have a Maelstrom done as well. So, I mean, these Manta Illusions, they've got ways of clearing them, Imperial. You look to both the Medusa with the split shot and the Legion Commander with the Maelstrom.
Yeah, it's not illusions where you can expect them to do a whole lot, I don't think. It's very much for the defensive purposes, the dodging spells, the debuffs as well. But again, not like a terrible line by any means. Has a lot of nice utility about it. And for now, Imperial are somewhat trapped in their own base, but this is a game where Medusas, you just sit back, get enough farm. At some point, you will reach these items that can allow you to find the Sven. I guess the bigger question is whether you'll have the ability to survive a lasso, or whether the Mirana, who could go into like an Ethereal Blade Dagon type build, you can survive that. That's maybe the tougher thing for the Medusa in the late game.
On top, Hester Joe with the chase in onto Coifa. He's not
totally
going to commit there.
Yeah, he's got no backup at all.
Too speedy. So it really all eyes on Error to see what he does build next. I mean, at the moment, obviously struggling for slots with that Aegis in his hand.
Feels like he wants like a damage item at this point. Yeah. Having the items he doesn't have that big Daedalus or Bloodthorn type item. Part of Tarask is kind of nice because you get all the extra damage from your God Strength when you use it with the extra strength. Yeah. But we'll have to see what he has in mind. Still has the Aegis for a little bit longer, but doesn't feel like Escape able to force the issue right now. It is actually Imperial who are smoking up as the Aegis is about to expire. I assume this is smoke. Yeah, smoked up to the north, looking for that Mirana.
Coifa would be a good kill to get. Coifa's been getting a fair bit of space across this map.
So hiding in the trees, well, they could potentially scan him, but he's tucked himself in deep.
They are hunting. They're close by, but that was a good scan. A very good scan. They know he's here. Coifa just holding his breath at the moment. He'll blink out. He'll TP. Oh, that was close. Coifa just getting away.
He doesn't. I mean, he realized at the end, like that's one of those things where you're TPing and you're like, I don't think they're coming for me. Well, you kind of have that sense as a carry player or like as a core. Like, you know they were coming for you, but you don't know how close they are. And you're like, okay, I've been hitting enough and they're still not showing. I'll just TP out. And then half a second before your TP goes off, you see that enemy hero scout you, and you're just like, oh shit, am I dead? And he, I don't know, makes Dota look like a scripted game when you see stuff like that.
Perfect timing and Escape. Read of the situation by Coifa. As the game goes on, still 17 for 10, Escape Gaming. With 2 cores standing away at the top. Baby Knight starting to catch up back to Coifa.
Yep.
And obviously with the farm with the items he's got, Baby Knight himself, very hard to take down with the Lincolns and the Hurricane Pike. And of course just having the backup of this lineup as well. Legion being able to help him with a Dispel and a heal, and obviously having the Oracle as well. It's a hard target for them to go on, but as we've seen Escape Gaming so far, just been able to do a great job at just picking off heroes around Baby Knight.
Well, that's the thing. Right now, Baby Knight does next to no damage in a team fight. You can very easily ignore the Medusa. The only time you're going to go on Medusa is if she's out front and caught out position, and you know you can kill her fast enough. But you only want to go on Medusa if you've got 5 heroes converging at the start of the fight. Otherwise, it's very much a ignore Medusa, go for the Oracle, go for the Bounty, go for the Legion Commander, whatever it may be. Don't try and overcommit on the tankiest hero on that Imperial side.
Now we can see Imperial maybe thinking about pushing on towards here too. At the same time, you just got Escape Gaming moving over, taking control of Imperial's half of the map in terms of the jungle. But Escape Gaming very much ready for the fight. Again, all these big ults up and available. And Imperial just kind of dodging at the moment. And we are seeing Error going back for the more standard, the crit stick, get the Crystalus.
Yep.
2.4k on top. He can go straight for that Daedalus very shortly as well.
Could also be the Bloodthorn, which is nice.
Full out Mione for the Legion. This is not something that we always necessarily see, is it? The Maelstrom and then completing the Mione before filling up the other slots. He's still got an Iron Talon and obviously still with the slot available if he upgrades the bot. So
it's nice kind of attack speed, but it's definitely not standard and didn't break the Lincolns.
Didn't expect the Lincolns.
Should have been able to scout that one out. Bounty's job should have been to shuriken it, and now Ace will feed away his life.
I mean, he's bringing them down relatively low with that shield, but not quite low enough. And at the same time, Aaron manages to find the pickup onto Neuer.
Yeah, it's a bit odd. Most of the time, it's definitely a misplay where you expect them to scout out the Lincolns. It's very, I mean, every pro player is always clicking enemies before you go on them to scout out. They either missed it or just mistimed using the shuriken, because you've got a shuriken right before you duel, and it's a very small window where you shuriken, Mirana may leap before the duel comes out. So you've almost got to do it exactly at the same time. So very difficult play to land, and it's a decent reward if you kill it. Oh, he's a problem now.
This is like a very hard game for Imperial to win.
Yep.
It really is. This is an absolute just reflection of what we saw in Game 1, as is a lot of these series have been at DreamLeague. Well, I'm going to see Oracle kind of left behind here. The hook shot from Yapzor, straight in and straight out for Oracle. Another pick for Escape Gaming, 20 for 10. It's all coming together for them here in Game 2.
Very nicely, and Imperial is so low it feels like they can do even with Medusa. Everything that's been going on the last 20-25 minutes just been Medusa farming, while the rest of her team sometimes gets kills. More often than not, it's getting killed, but Baby Knight's probably just thinking like, guys, we'll just keep on doing this until I get enough farm and I'm ready to fight. But it just feels like it's going to be a very big struggle for Imperial to even fight with that Medusa. There's going to be cogs to bounce her around. There's fatal bonds. There's upheaval, so she's going to be. It's going to be impossible for her to move around. Batrider with napalm, lassos, flame breaks. There's all this stuff to just push her around and kind of kite her throughout that fight to make it very difficult.
Yeah, I mean, it really feels like this is the pace of a game where we could potentially see the need for Baby Knight to go down the rapier line. You know what I mean?
Yep.
As this goes on.
Sure.
Because you can imagine with the state of the game as it is, Imperial can make it hard for Escape to win, but without a rapier, without kind of that massive impact, high damage, it's going to be very hard for them to kind of crawl back and win the fights against Escape Gaming to the point where they're actually able to get across the map and push down lanes themselves.
Yeah, it's a good point. You can't just defend your high ground. You have to have a way to push out your lanes and win the game at some point. Playing not to lose is not the approach to take if you're Imperial. You have to be thinking about how do we not lose but also win the game, and that's where items like Rapier do come into your mind. For now, it's a Manta style, which is fine. There's pretty good as far as like getting rid of some of the napalm stacks and stuff like that. You can dodge some spells if you're good on it, like the Storm Bolt. Even if you see Batrider coming, you can quickly pop your Manta and make him second guess how to use the lasso. So not a bad item by any means, but it's still going to be a tough road for Baby Knight. Feels like he still needs 2 more items. Big items on the Medusa before being ready to fight. It basically needs to be 6 stars.
Yeah, on the Medusa at this stage. I mean, there will be obviously a nice bit of a fortune for Imperial going their way in terms of cash. They were able to take down Quaker on the top lane. And now with the full 5-man up here, trying to transition into a bit of a tier 2 push.
Yep. Don't have to worry a bit about bottom, which is where Medusa will go back to farming, and it doesn't look like they're going to try and commit to that tier 2 tower up top so much.
Again, just respecting the defensive capabilities of Escape Gaming. They know they've got a lot of catch, a lot of jump between the clock and the Batrider. That if they're going for these kind of push, they need the full 5-man. They need to fully commit. They can't kind of dilly-dally around it because they're just going to get picked off one by one, as we've seen already happening numerous times in previous engagements when Escape Gaming jump in. Well, quite fair. Coming up again. Lightning proc did bounce to him, so he knows that Legion's around.
Feels like the Escape just can't find that big key pick-off that'll allow them to break through the base just yet. They're getting close, but ending the game is always the challenge against the Medusa. They've got this Aegis on Sven, but we're still reaching that point where Sven is going to kind of taper off. He's not going to continue to scale. He's kind of actually reached that point now with this Aegis. He doesn't get that much scarier. The Daedalus is already there, so there's not many more items that makes Sven that much scarier or beastly. And AC is kind of nice, but it's not game-changing. It's Similar thing with like a Moonshot or whatever it may be. Heart or a Satanic is like alright, but not a major upgrade. Here come Escape.
Gotta be careful. They got the jump in onto both of them. Lasso onto the Oracle, hooking onto Baby Knight. He'll get the chance for the Stone Gaze, and with the False Promise, he gets himself out. Oracle's actually going to be able to live as well. Now with Ace jumping in, has the duel onto Warlock. They get themselves the kill. This is going well for Imperial. They may even be able to find themselves more. They take down the Golem. Era still thinking about jumping into this fight, and he'll go immediately onto the Ace Legion Commander on the back lines of it all. Baby Knight still standing, right-clicking back. They lose the bounty as well. So as quickly as it looked to be all right for Imperial, Era turns up and makes sure that Escape Gaming do find the team fight win.
Yeah, it kind of was all right, and then they just hung around and tried to chip it, Escape and go back in, which was a bit silly against the Sven, who's ready to just blink him once more. He has sealed the ultimate up for a bit longer, had an Aegis, so he's not afraid of too many things. And the False Promise was also used very early on Baby. Baby Knight had already forced stuff out of the cogs. He was fine, and then the False Promise came into play, which seemed a bit odd as well. So not the best use of the False Promise, and also just unnecessarily re-engaging there. But ultimately, Imperial, and they get a dual kill. They trade 2 for 1. It's not a great trade, but they buy time where they don't lose the game against an Aegis carry. So it's like an acceptable hold. Your Legion, infinite scaling, you know, that unlimited dual damage.
That's true.
You get a dual kill for a death. It's like, even a dual kill on a support as a Legion commander, if the game goes back to that stalemate scenario, which it kind of is feeling a bit like neither team can, I mean, Escape, to be specific, can't really push high ground despite their lead. It's actually not the end of the world to get a dual kill just for a support, assuming you're still getting some item progression, which is going to be the BKB, I can only imagine, for Ace.
You're going to have Yap starting to build towards his Aghanim Scepter. He's pretty much halfway there. And what is can we have a look what Hester ended up going for? He did start to rack up the Golden Slaughter. Was it just BKB for himself? And he's still yet to spend it.
Saving it, yeah.
I mean, I'd only imagine BKB. Could you think anything else?
Or Shadow Blade is sometimes you see picked up just for that roaming initiation potential. But right now, map control is very heavily in Escape's favor, so it's kind of one of those things where you maybe do it. You're the ones being the aggressors, it's good, but we'll more likely see a BKB, I want to say. Lotus Orb is a consideration as well. Lincoln's against the Bat Rider, but they've got 1 Lincoln, so those kind of counter items.
Bottom lane, Escape Gaming. With the Creep Wave. We'll see if they are ready to try and climb up, but again, the Aegis is gone. 4 minutes until Roche is back up. Arrow with a slot and money to fill it. 4.5k sitting on at the moment. I mean, does he go for a BKB? I mean, he's already got the Manta style. I mean, going for Manta and BKB seems very defensive if he does so.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like an item that's going to help you that much against
I mean, MKB
Slada,
would not.
Medusa.
If he sees that this butterfly's coming out for Baby Knight, you'd imagine but the Arrow's going to opt for the MKB.
Yeah, and that's why I thought that Crystals might be a Bloodthorn, just because you expect that butterfly to come out. But with 5k gold, Satanic, of course, the possible upgrade for the Helm of the Dominator, but Satanic's not really a game-winning item. I know it's an item that like AUI, who's played a ton of Sven, always talks about. Like, he doesn't like building it just because if you get to a point where you have to Satanic in a fight as a Sven, your hero's not done its job.
Oh, here we are.
They've got the jewel.
Again, Coifer getting caught out on this top lane.
I feel like we've been seeing him get caught a lot this game. And it's definitely, he's the hero being hunted. Sven is just at that point where he's not really easily killed, and if you're fighting into the Sven, he's just going to cleave you up, whereas Mirana is not as scary. So Coifer giving away all these kills has definitely given Imperials some much-needed income and comeback money at that.
Down bottom lane, Baby Knight was nearly able to find the kill onto Trixie. Nice cogs from Yap, so giving Trixie the space to back up.
He's farmed. He's actually, at that point, we talked about needing like 2 more items. He's basically there, just needs that, has that 1 empty slot still. Don't know if it actually needs to be a Rapier. Skadi seems alright against the Sven, being able to help kite him around a bit better. Sven, MKB, you said it. Gets it.
He needs it, and it's a smart route from Era. He was saving up that money, looking to see what Baby Knight picks up, sees the butterfly, gets the MKB. Straight up, he's got it countered.
Sells the Helm, so won't have Life Steal in this upcoming fights, outside of like a Vlad's on his team. So it does mean he needs to make sure he doesn't get completely kite around. Without a BKB, no Life Steal, no BKB, All it takes is like one stun to completely mess him up and get bursted down at the start of a fight. He may even become a dual target for all we know because of the lack of defensive options that he's got.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Bottom lane, Imperial getting back to being able to form this push, getting themselves out of the base, putting the pressure on themselves a little bit.
Yeah, it's starting to feel like this game has truly swung back the way of Imperial, and we're kind of at an even state right now. And with the momentum, it's feeling like even maybe better for Imperial. Yeah, the graphs come up and don't agree with that statement, but it's very much a Medusa that's doing a lot, and a Sven that isn't really contributing to his net worth right now. We're seeing all this net worth on Era, on his Sven, on Koikva, on the Mirana, but then unable to end the game. They're unable to find key kills, and you've got these low net worth supports, which are still having an impact for Imperial. There's like 10k net worth on Clock, but we're not really seeing fights happen where Escape can really capitalize on this net worth advantage. Strategically, Imperial's doing just fine. Item-wise, they're a tiny bit behind.
I'm just interested to see where Ace goes next with his item build. You know, picking up the full Mjolnir, BKB and such, he's got nearly 3k gold on him. I mean, Ace, what do you think he's thinking about as his next item for Legion?
Probably the Assault Cuirass, I guess, against Sven. Bounty's got a plate mail as well. I guess he's thinking Lotus Orb because he's got the Arcane Boots, so. But yeah, Assault Cuirass is definitely a nice little item to have this game. Anything that gives you some good armor ability to fight into the Sven's physical damage, although there is consideration towards the Mirana, who you get to that really late game stage, it's Mirana with the E-Blade Dagons that can be the true carry some of the time.
Here we have, again, Escape Gaming smoking up. Unlikely to find anything. I mean, if anything, they do kind of clear out the space around the Roche pit as they'll realize that Imperial are elsewhere on the map.
I think Imperial just don't even care about Roche at this point. They've managed to hold high ground against two Aegises already. The Sven is 6-slotted, the Mirana is 6-slotted. So if these heroes want to be picking up an Aegis, they've got to drop one of their actual items. I guess Sven could drop, what, Echo Saber, which is not the end of the world. But ultimately, like, Sven has to drop an Echo Saber, Mirana has to drop either a Blink or a Dagon. These carries are at that point where they don't really want to have to pick up an Aegis or a Cheese because they're slot limited. So Imperial aren't even overly concerned about this. They've got high ground defense advantage with buybacks at their disposal. Baby Knight's got 2.7k gold, so he's fine. I imagine Ace will be saving for buyback on his Legion Commander. Slater maybe even as well. Yeah, he's got 3.3k. May consider foregoing buyback if he can get like a big item like an AC, but you don't buy like a casual plate mail normally for a buyback. Slater doesn't have one because of his BKB purchase, but that's the kind of item you want to buy and give up your buyback for because it can have that high impact in a fight.
Yeah, it really is looking to be a steeper and steeper hill for Escape Gaming to climb to get to the victory of this game.
Well, smoke up, and I think this is a good move to make. Clear out their jungle, because Imperial's been basically farming this top lane and this dire jungle, while Escape push mid and bottom, and that's something that hasn't been punished yet. They head up there, they're kind of a bit too late though, so they have to be really fast with these movements and perhaps even try and mind game Imperial. Like, show heroes at bottom and mid while 2 or 3 others go and look for the kills elsewhere on the map. Try and use your Boots of Travels to find pickoffs, or get the Boots of Travel level 2 even. These kind of plays almost need to happen for them to find a way to break high ground. High grounding in a 5v5 scenario just seems near impossible. It's not just Medusa, it's overwhelming odds as well. That's one of the best high ground defending spells in the game right now, and Escape seem to have limited options. The outside just forcing the issue, but it doesn't feel like that's gonna be working out too great for them.
Well, we'll see if they can get anything on with this push again up towards the top. Escape Gaming, as Imperial kind of hide up on the high ground, and Escape Gaming just needing to find that opportunity to break the base. That's just seeming to get further and further away from them, as it really is Imperial just working the game into it's kind of this timing. 45 minutes in. I mean, I guess the question is, do you think Imperial with this draft were expecting to get to this point 45 minutes in? Like, were they expecting to be behind and playing for the late game?
I imagine they were hoping for a better mid game with the Legion and Slater being able to roam around, find kills, use some smokes, but that didn't really work out for them, and they kind of knew that they had the high ground defenders, Medusa and Legion Commander. They had the ability to scale well into the late game. These 2 physical damage carries get amplified by the Slater because of the minus armor. They've got good initiation from him. The False Promise works really nicely with both Medusa and Legion. Probably even more so the Legion, who's initiating in first in these fights, but Escape themselves, like they can scale, just not as well. Batrider functions, I'd say, better in the late game than the Slatter does as far as being that guaranteed pick-off in some ways, but that depends on the Lincoln Spheres, the Lotus Orbs, all those things, so we'll see how Escape can play around that. But it's a Sven who's falling off while Medusa is catching up, Sven is kind of falling off, and that's really the big worry for Escape right now.
Let's see if they can indeed break that base. Moonshards has been swallowed by Era. He is really getting to the point where, even getting to the point where maybe he picks up something instead of the Manta Star. We did see him go for it, but at this stage of the game, he may just need something that's just a little bit more for pushing up. Maybe for him to be picking up the AC for his team.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like an item that's had a major impact. I mean, those illusions getting the Daedalus crit, but you're not cleaving with them, so you can see here they struggling to bring down a siege creep. Sven illusions just not something that cause problems. They're not agi heroes, illusions, and as it stands, Imperial more than okay clearing them out with overwhelming odds with the AoE they've got. And seems like an item pickup that hasn't really paid off for Era. Definitely had a clear idea with it as far as being able to dispel off the amp damage, the track and all that, but yeah, in practice has not had the impact he'd have imagined. For Imperial, you're just kind of, you're in high ground defense mode. You've hit all these items you need. You don't need to make risky plays at this point. You're happy to even let Escape out-farm you for this 5 minutes because Escape aren't getting any scarier. They've kind of reached that peak now. Yeah, Mirana's going to level up Dagon. That's probably the one thing they can do is go from like a level 1 or 2 Dagon to level 5. It's already actually decently high level. Mirana not even having buyback for the Dagon levels is a bit curious as well. But as it stands, Imperial are just like, why do we need to go make plays? It's not like they're reaching this item timing or level timing where they're just going to come and break our high ground. That's it. This is as strong as Escape are ever really going to be. Syndren's down at 4.6k net worth. He's not getting any farm on the map. There's no farm for it to be had as a Warlock. No. Yapsa maybe finishes it. Okay, he's got the Ag Scepter, but not a game changer necessarily. Can definitely help as far as being able to spam more hook shots in a fight, kite the Medusa a bit better, but he's got to be careful about not going down in these fights. So again, it's Imperial who get beefier. Medusa's doing more with her net worth than the Sven is, and that's with what Baby Knight is we just saw, but he's still not spent 7k of it. He's got an item slot. He can replace the treads.
And there's the jump in, looking for Era, getting a serious amount of damage on. They'll get the lasso though, dragging the starter out, but it'll be purged off by Ace. And Baby Knight just forces them out. And again, it's Escape Gaming trying to jump in with a lasso, but they can't do anything, it really feels like at this stage, just against Imperial's defense. Yeah.
You put the Sven on the high ground, it's one of those things where you don't really, the BKB doesn't do it all that much, but it does allow you to hit buildings for a little bit. But I don't think BKB is necessarily even the item for Sven.
And now with the jump in, it's going to be Imperial coming outside of the base, quite for leaps away. And again, a little bit of a wraparound from Imperial. You can see coming outside of the base. Baby Knight actually heading to the secret shop. Ooh, he was looking to finish off his Skadi. And it did have the Orb of Venom on, so that's kind of messed him up building it. They'll still find a kill though, nonetheless. Chaotic Offering is going to be dropped in the midst of this fight. Yapzor hooks across, focusing the Oracle. Oracle's going to get taken down. They burst down Noya as well on the Bounty Hunter, but they've lost 2. Let's see if Baby Knight can get himself anything more here with the Stone Gauge, the Crush, allowing them to get the Stone Form onto the Clockwork.
What's Sven done to the Radiant base? So he's taken one full lane of racks while all that was going on. Era.
They'll take that. I mean, 3 for 3, but breaking the base, the rat is successful.
Yeah, Imperial, they were doing so good until they decide to leave their base. That's the sad thing. They'll look back on that and be like, oh, we didn't need to push out the lanes. Like, we didn't need to try and... They basically pushed out to try and contest the secret shop. Normally, like, you try and contest, like, a Roshan or something. No, they're like, we got to contest this secret shop. We got to get the Skadi up. But
and it's that's a smart place from Escape Gaming. Yeah, just doing that.
They went and took the fight while Sven just hit the building. Sven can't actually team fight into the Crushers, the Jewel, the Medusa with just her ranged attack. It's a Sven who is very limited in what he can do, so he just hit buildings.
He's got the AC now as well, so the route's going to be even easier. I mean, could we have, did he drop the Manta style for that? What did he get rid of? No.
He did. Oh, no, he doesn't. No, what are you talking about? I'm blind as well.
He got rid of the Echo Saber.
Huh, yeah.
Okay.
I guess. I mean,
he wants to keep that
AC straight up better than the Echo Saber, but not sold the Manta has been amazing. It probably did help him a bit there when he went for the high ground push.
Yeah,
Helps him
I
get
guess
rid
it
of the
adds a
amp
little bit
damage,
to the
but
push, yeah. The illusions as well.
It's pretty negligible.
Oh. Hang on, Radiant's Courier just died again. I think they brought a second one because they're trying to get Baby Knight's Skadi finished.
He finished it, I believe.
No.
No, he didn't. Okay.
I think he just had it on the second Courier, I want to say. He was trying to get it out because it's such a nightmare because he needs to get the Orb of Venom from the base, pick up the rest from the secret shop.
You know, you just put the Orb of Venom on your hero, then you walk out and get... Oh, I guess he's bought the ulti orb,
but he's
already.
already bought an ulti orb, so he's got to drop something else. So it's...
I mean, just have an extra ulti orb. He's got so much money. Just put the ultimate orb of base, get an orb of Venom, walk out, buy the rest of buy the full thing.
He's lost 2 Couriers in the process of trying to get it done.
That's a bit frustrating for sure. Again, it's an item that, yeah, you want to have it for sure, but you shouldn't be losing a Rax to just attempt to buy a Skadi. It's been a bit of a all over the place kind of game, but that's, I mean, kudos to Escape for pulling them apart, making them turning this into a kind of scrappy game, and Escape are maintaining a pretty sizable gold lead, just having greater farm distribution, whereas the farm is entirely concentrated on the Medusa. Legion's doing all right there, but for Escape, you look at 4 heroes with 14 to 30k net worth. Clockwork's heavily out farming an offlane Slardar, Bounty and Oracle are poor. Escape just have the one poor hero, which is Syndrome, which is just kind of the normal status quo as far as they're concerned.
I can see Moonlight Shadow from Escape Gaming. The question is if they can find a jump in onto the high ground again. And Imperial, they just have to be prepared to protect both lanes, because Era will be in and hammering down at one of your exposed lanes of Rax.
Another Courier.
Is it the third attack? Wait, I think that was the original Courier respawn. This was the original, wasn't it?
Yeah. Once you get the AC and the Skadi, it looks like. Oh boy, that was close. Slide almost got KO'd from full HP by the E-Blade Dagon.
Right, so what do we got on this Courier? So what are they trying to do with this one?
I think Slider just needs to pick up like a casual hood even at this point. It's AC Skadi if he can get it. They smoke up.
I mean, they know that they just can't get it out to the shop because there's a dire ward there. There's pretty much the full lineup of Escape Gaming making sure that that Courier can't get those items complete.
Send it to the dire secret shop.
It's getting to that point.
I've seen that happen before where Radiant team are just like, screw it, we're going to send the Courier to yours.
Era was AFK.
Interesting. I mean, that was a good smoke gank from Imperial, catching him by surprise. And now you can push out. Now you can go to your secret shop. Space for their shopping.
Here's the Courier. It's like, right, back on.
And the problem is they've only got a donkey Courier. They need a better Courier than that.
Yeah, where's the cosmetics, lads? Come on. But yeah, they'll get their items done this time around. And big ones as well that they were waiting for. Ace with the AC complete. And Skadi out to Baby Knight. And Baby Knight, he's still got a lot of money, yeah. Yeah, there we have it. Moonshards as well, as you said. And still with 5.6k in his bank to boot.
Can buy the Travels 2, can buy the gem for his team if they want a gem. You know, there's lots of... I mean, he'll buy all the wards if his team need it, but... As far as upgrades go, I mean, the Hurricane Pike is just so nice against Sven. The extra range and the push ability could replace like a Manta style for a Rapier if you feel like the game gets desperate. But being down one lane of Rax, they're not in a desperate position yet. They're still really able to out-teamfight Escape and even find pickoffs easier than them. The Batrider pickoff potential is just not really all that scary when you've got the Lincolns and the Purge.
Oh, look at this. We're going to have a pickoff outside of the base. They found Oracle. He's going to get the chance to False Promise, though. And with Baby Knight coming in from the back of this, they can turn this one around. They have lost Slardar. Baby Knight, can he find a kill from this one? Moonlight Shadow comes out, but it's now going to run out. They'll drop the Chaotic Offering, considering trying to hold back the proceeds of Imperial. Baby Knight focusing down Yapson with the damage. He should get the kill. No, the cheese is eaten. Yapson's going to survive. Quake for burst down Nori on the back lines. This is looking pretty good for Escape Gaming. Ace looking towards the bat. Baby Knight still... Oh, nice juke there at the Stormhammer with the Manta style, but he's got to run. He's nearly out of the mana. Forces himself up, but Yaps there with the hook shot. Big fight for Escape Gaming as they look to take Baby Knight as well, and they will. 4 down. Era striking back hard as he gets himself back into the game.
Yep.
And
got picked apart one by one.
You've got to get the buybacks up.
Yep. Absolutely, and even with the buybacks, Escape may try and push and force this. What? I don't know. I just don't know.
Yeah, that is some crazy stuff going on this game.
There must have been some reason or
he
cause
was looking for
that.
a kill, and Yap's down as well. They'll feed the golem.
I'm flabbergasted.
And just as quickly as they got a very good team fight, Escape Gaming aren't finding the racks off the back of it. They do obviously force out the 2 buybacks from Imperial, so overall, it's still good news for Escape Gaming, but still, it's kind of scrappy from both sides this game.
Yeah. Very, very strange and unusual. Imperial, I don't know how that fight really began. Slatter died to neutral somewhere. That was a bit odd. I just saw like a message pop up. He died to neutrals. I guess he was getting ganked by a hero and then suicide to neutrals or something, but it was like there was no Slatter. Then Oracle got picked off. It felt like Imperial just got picked off one by one at the start of the fight, and they didn't position and play as a team in that fight very well. Something that Escape did really took advantage of.
Okay. Get the dual damage. Get the dual damage. Oh!
Gonna live.
Synderen.
Yeah, I mean, Synderen with bottom net worth somehow always makes these plays, you know. I don't know how he does it.
Absolutely perfect. Into the Roche pit though, and this time Imperial are going to be the ones to claim it. We're seeing Escape Gaming get pretty good control of this throughout the game, but now Aegis onto Hester Joe. There's a cheese as well for the team.
Yep.
And let's watch this here. So this is the dive from Quafer. So he's looking to nuke down Ace.
Ace purges off the E-Blade.
And I think he's just bashing Leap like, I'm getting surrounded, and hang on, that's not the direction I wanted to leap in.
All right, that makes a bit more sense now. He's thinking he can kill the Legion with the BKB on cooldown. And with the E-Blade double Starstorm Dagon, it is possible if you're fast. Yeah, it was again, Slatter just well-timed crush, just helping his buddy out. Legion's got not the biggest HP pool against the Mirana burst damage. It's like decent, but not amazing by any means.
I mean, Quaker, as well as this game goes on, he's continuing to rack up the gold. I mean, the question is really what can he actually do with it? I mean, Moonshards
nothing really
is still kind of the final option, but with the build, you're not really looking to get the right clicks, and I guess it can help a bit for the pushes, but not in terms of killing heroes.
Yeah, exactly. You buy it for the sake of the pushes a little bit. Why not if you've got the money? But he's 6-slotted, Era is 6-slotted. It's going to come down to just teamfight execution, buyback management, and a number of other things now that everyone's kind of hitting that point where they're maxed out. The item progression can only really happen on the supporting cast. Heroes like Slatter, heroes like Batrider. Yapster on the Clockwork could theoretically get some more items, but I guess Medusa can upgrade to the Rapier. Still feels like a viable option. But last fight wasn't about items. It was just about Medusa was kind of trapped alone in the river.
Oh, yeah, Absol coming in with the Moonlight Shadow. They're wrapping around from behind Escape Gaming. Hester Joe looking for the jumping, gets the crush onto the clock. They'll pop the Stone Case. Chaotic Offering will be dropped in the midst of it all. Good to see Era trying to focus down. The Legion pops the Manta style, but he can't kill Ace. Era just being surrounded in the Skadi and the damage from Baby Knight, forcing Era to back out of the fight. He's going to go down, though. It's a 2-for-2 at the moment, but Baby Knight's making sure they get even more. A third kill for them. They'll turn towards Quaker. They'll get the Mirana as well. I mean, they lose two. They lose an Aegis, but Baby Knight picking up a triple kill. This game proving to be very much on the rise in terms of difficulty for Escape Gaming, as again with what looked to be a good wraparound and a good initiation just gets turned around at this stage by this Medusa. Baby Knight just causing so many issues.
Yeah, and that fight really highlights how Imperial can do when they're together. They need the amp damage on heroes Medusa is hitting, which last fight there was no Slatter. He died somewhere off in the middle of nowhere, and this time around Slatter's there crushing heroes, amping them up. First he gets the amp on Clockwork, Baby Knight finishes the job, then he finds the next hero, finds the Sven, then they find the Mirana last. It was just one by one Slatter setting up kills for Medusa. The Slatter has to work with Baby Knight. You do not want to leave Baby Knight's side. The other big thing is that Hurricane Pike is proven to be like probably Baby Knight's most useful late game item. The extra range allowing him to get more hits off as well as the push.
Just take Era out of the fight. You know, he tries to run in and focus here, you just shove him away. And with the Skadi, he can't move back in to get the damage out.
And the other problem is he gets caught in this upheaval. He actually took a lot of slows, but he's able to push himself to chase the heroes despite that massive slow. You can't walk in the upheaval, but you can force stuff your way through it. So proving to be a very
this is a scary graph for Escape Gaming. The fact that this is that
it's no longer a game of graphs so much for them, I want to say. Like, it's one of those things where they probably feel like the game's been even on net worth for like 15, 20 minutes.
So now it's just down to play.
It really is down to play. Like, you lose a fight like that and you're not thinking, oh, we just lost 10k gold. You're thinking, we need to figure out how to take good team fights.
Yeah,
like,
we need to do it differently.
How did we win the fight in the river earlier where we picked them off one by one? We need a fight like that because whenever it gets 6-slotted like this, it's no longer about who's got a 20k gold lead or whether you've got a 10k gold deficit. It's purely about like how you use your heroes, how you use your spells, and where you are like position-wise in a fight. Pick off the Slider at the start of the fight, Escape I think just straight up win the fight. I think Slider is the hero that will win Imperial these team fights. Yeah, and I guess Ace to a lesser extent, he's going to keep him locked down in place a bit, but without that Slider, I just think it's... I think if Slider dies without getting an amp off, it's Escape winning the team fight.
I mean, if you're Era, how do you find the way to play these fights a little bit better? Because as we said, there's so many things that Imperial have that make it very hard for a Sven to get his job done in these team fights. What are you looking to do as a Sven now at this point of the game?
Make sure you get value out of your BKB. It's only 5 seconds.
Yeah.
You've got to make sure that when you blink in with God Strength, you're either insta-killing that hero or forcing a false promise off on them where they're ideally going to die after it. So he needs to go for heroes they can kill. I think you totally ignore the Medusa. Again, it's that same principle that should have been applied the whole game. Ignore Medusa unless it's a 5v1 onto Medusa and she's in the front. Then you go on her. But otherwise, if you're Sven, you're looking for... Oracle's like okay, but I think, again, ideally you want to blink on Slider, blow him up instantly with like just... blink on him with God Strength and hope for some crits and take Sven out of the fight. That's the ideal scenario for Era.
Bigger and bigger items coming out for Baby Nut. He puts down the boots, he picks up a Bloodthorn. So, I mean, with the illusions out, an Amplify and a Bloodthorn onto someone, it doesn't matter if you're a Sven, you're dying very, very quickly in these fights now.
It's not easy. But we'll see what approach is going to be, and this is where... I mean, that 10, 15k gold lead isn't really 10, 15k gold lead when there's 7k on Mirana, there's a bunch of money on Sven. They can't use their money. Baby Knight's actually used all 46k of his net worth, it feels like, outside of like 4k of it. He's actually getting full value out of his net worth, whereas Sven, Mirana are sitting at... I mean, Mirana's got 35k net worth, but is 6-slotted with 8k in reserve. Or so that's Sven with 8k in reserve. Sven's got 8k in reserve. Mirana's 7k in reserve. They just aren't using their net worth.
And top lane, they've just got out of Batrider. We're going to see Courier try and punish. He comes in with the E-Blade on test to Roshan, but the BKBs are out from Imperial. And they're out themselves as well. Yapsor,
oh,
he's going to look for the hook shot. Indeed, he has found Hestejo in the tree line.
No buyback. That's dangerous, but I say that you don't expect or really know about the buyback status, and if you're Escapes, you're kind of thinking, well, we have no bat, they have no Slider. It kind of negates itself a little bit. But yeah, coming to the Vlad's obviously one of the super value late game items you can buy, being percent based, the auras, the lifesteal, and all that.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And it's a tough game for Escape. Still. It's really going to come down to one team is going to eventually just win a team fight in a convincing way, and then they'll push high ground, force the buybacks, and then we'll see if they can win the game off of that. Okay.
Finds Oracle on his own in the jungle.
Playing
That's the gem.
support in these games is the worst. If you're a Cinderin or Ryze in this game...
In a late game, 62 minutes in, it's not going to be fun. You are going to just lose your life like that.
Yep. It's kind of fun to play like a bounty hunter because you're at that point where Mirana and Sven aren't going to have gems. Like the detection is kind of limited when you get late game because everyone's 6-slotted. So the ability to carry sentries and gem is much more limited. So being a bounty is kind of fun, but even bounty, it's like he does no damage. He's just tracking heroes, keeping vision of them. Bat does have a gem, so you've got to still avoid the Bat Rider.
And as we saw there, of course, Arrow going for the standard late game. Sven purchased the refreshers.
Oh yeah. So does he has it on his Courier or?
I'm not quite. Is he? I believe he's holding it on the Courier.
Okay. Yeah, why not? You get.
Yeah,
he can,
he's got it in the stash.
So the thing is here, you can buy back. So he goes into a fight, he uses his whole kit, he gets a kill or two, and he dies, which is actually okay to die because he buys back, he refreshes his ultimate and goes again.
Thing. A lot of the times the refreshers picked up when you got a BKB, so you get double BKB. But he has not got a BKB, so it is purely just for what feels like the God Strength.
It's still better than nothing in some ways, I guess. They're going on Baby Knight of all heroes.
It's going to be an ambitious one. They're trying to jump forward. Hestejo comes, he gets the crush onto the Bat Rider. They do move down the Bounty Hunter, but Baby Knight from the sidelines with the Stone Gates, forcing Escape Gaming to back up.
Ace
moving forward. Indeed, look at the damage that Era's taking, already down to half health. They'll just turn, make quick work of the Golem at this stage of the game. It's no issue for the side of Imperial at all. Yapsor actually missing the hook, jumping forward again, quite for trying to nuke down Ace, but he hasn't quite got the burst damage. And now Era trying to man fight up against Baby Knight, but he's not going to win the fight. It's too much damage on Baby Knight, too much tank on this Medusa, and Escape Gaming losing heroes. Baby Knight gets another triple kill. They just can't kill the Medusa at this stage of the game. He's going to go for the TP. In fact, he cancels it. He's so close to dying. He's so close to dying, but he's not. Oh, he finally goes down. They've killed the Medusa. Yapso missing the hook. Buybacks coming out too from both sides. Everyone getting back in the game.
What the fuck?
Oh, they actually managed to kill Baby Knight at the end of that.
Okay. Yeah. For a second, I thought it was going to live, and there was like Mirana's her dying
loses
breath.
money.
Yeah, her dying breath was just one last star storm falling down that found the Medusa. 6.5. I was about to say the Mirana was the hero for Escape. Look how much Sven did the least damage in that fight of the entire team. Synderen only did less damage, and Synderen did as much damage as the freaking Sven.
It's the amount of kiting potential that they've got. And he don't have buyback. He does not have buyback. They need to save. They need to get Medusa out of there. They're false promised if they're going for a duel, but they're losing their life. Maybe not. It's not going to matter. Is he going to pop? Is he going to pop? He's gone. He's gone. But they have lost Era. Both teams with a massive casualty, but Ace falling as well. They only have Hester Joe and Neuer available.
They don't push very fast. They don't have any right clickers with the Sven dead is the main thing. So taking the throne is not easy. Slatter can spam crushes out on them.
I mean, Hester Joe needs to come out with the plays of his lifetime here. They have 3 heroes dead without buyback in the game that Imperial, if they won this, it would have been guaranteed spot of land. They've got another series that they can work through, but this would have been a lovely game for them to win.
He's just going to let stuff go. Defend the throne only. You can buy time using the crush. 70 seconds sounds like a lot. It's probably mega creeps, but you've got to play against mega creeps is how you look at this. They're not actually going for the throne. They're just going for the megas here. And the worst thing that you can do right now is just die without buyback if you're the Slatter, because once you die, then they do go for the throne. That was, I mean, again, it just comes down to whether Sven does damage in the fight. The first fight, he did 0 damage.
I mean, that fight, the beautiful Stormhammer onto 2.
Did like 8,000 damage over the course of his BKB.
And there we have it.
Can they get...
Racks are gone. But it looks like Imperial will have the chance potentially for one more fight. They're going to have Oracle back up.
They may regret not going for the throne there. They took a lot of time pushing all the racks, and they're kind of at this point where they can get tier 4s, but Legion's back soon, Medusa's back soon enough.
It pops the BKB, but they have the lasso. Hester Joe in a lot of trouble. He's going to be surrounded by 4th and gets himself out of the cox, but he's bursted down. He's gone. Ace, they need Ace and Baby Knight. 15 seconds till the Legion, 25 seconds till the Medusa, but the tier 4s are falling.
Probably Sven is also back when Medusa. Sven's actually just going to TP and kill the throne.
I think the throne's gone. It's gone. Escape Gaming are doing it. They need something big, but Sin dropping the rock. Ace being cogged in by Yapso. Cog blocking him from the ancient. Oh, but here we have it. Ace going for the front of the fence. They're going to jump in. Sven looking to kill the Legion. He's going to succeed in GG. It's all over. Escape Gaming did it at the end of that one. I mean, that game was just... I don't really know what to say about that game. It was just all over the place.
Bonkers.
Teams making crazy plays. The good kind and the bad kind.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, Escape Gaming do it. They revel in the madness, and they are able to secure the draw against Imperial.
And that for Vega is huge, because now
they've got a chance.
They have a chance. They have to win.
They need to 2-0.
They have to 2-0. 1-1 will be not enough. If they get a 2-0 in that last series, they take either tiebreakers or a spot to land, whatever the rules is. I don't know what it is, but Vega not eliminated. And Imperial are not guaranteed through yet, so...
No.
That was it. I thought Imperial had it. It really felt like they'd held on long enough with the Medusa gone to a point where Baby Knight was just kiting them around so badly. With the Slatter, though, needed to be alive in all those fights, and that bottom fight, they did well enough, and then Mirana just got a few kills in the backlines. Everyone bought back, and suddenly mayhem. It felt like Imperial just got overconfident, because after they bought back, they were still in an advantageous position until that Sven 2-man Stormbolt blows a few up. Game over.
Absolutely. What a game indeed. Crazy stuff from the boys in Escape Gaming and Imperial. We'll see more of Imperial, as you said, going up against Vega now in the series where everything to play for. So don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. Here at the ASUS ROG DreamLeague, it's all kicking off. We'll head back to the panel, though, now to hear what they have to say about that crazy game 2 between Imperial and Escape Gaming.